As part of We the People, celebrating 250 years, here's This Day in History.
As we count down to America's 250th birthday this summer, we're sharing our We the People series, the people, places, and things of the past that have shaped our country into what it is today. That includes pivotal moments in state history. Charlie, that's what we got today.
Yeah, on this day, March 11th, back in 2011, then Governor Scott Walker signed the controversial Act 10 into law after weeks of protests. The law limits collective bargaining to only wage increases for thousands of teachers, nurses, prison guards, and government employees. This means that other issues such as benefits, safety, and working conditions and vacations were no longer negotiable. Supporters of Act 10 say the law saved school districts and local governments billions of dollars, while opponents say it kneecapped unions that back Democrats and hurt workers' income and morale. Democratic state senators tried to block the passage of the law by leaving the state and hold recall elections targeting Walker and others who voted for it. In 2024, a Dane County judge struck down major parts of Act 10, a ruling which has since been appealed. Democrats and unions still oppose the law, while Republicans and conservative-leaning groups still support it. That's This Day in History for March 11th.
Yeah, many people remember those protests at the Capitol, and they lasted for several weeks.
Big protests, yeah. Kids in schools were walking out on classes, and I remember them walking down to the square, and yeah, thousands and tens of thousands of people down on the square for those.
Yeah. All right, Charlie, thanks for This Day in History.